slurs, why me jump right out the curve? Let this shot fly like a bird. Spin on the first and the third. Solid, I'm keeping my word. Can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. Crack up the phone, I swerve. Give me a stick if they heard. Cause I don't want it, they working my nerves. I'm out the pause to serve. Hitting this ball like a purse. Fresh on the back of a purse. Ice, the bird. Drop it on ugly turds. Can't take the pop, but you turn. In my own lane, we can merge. Something on here you can learn. Let's see how much you can earn. Why me go big like the worm? And I ain't smoking no shirt. I'm in the league, keep living. Keep clean, keep it sweet. All of my brothers be pretty, they showing it really, it's up to the ceiling. And I'm gonna run through a milli, I rock with a really, let's hit for a billion. I'ma get back to the gritty and tell the city the home of the villain. SEC wanna fulfill. Smoke out the pound when I'm chillin'. Hoping I make me a king. Look, I got everybody wishing. I hope you play your position. I don't want nobody to listen. I feel good with precision. Give us my only decision. Ain't got no one that they calling me slurs. Let me jump right out the curve. Let this one fly like a bird. Spin on the first and the third. Solid, I'm keeping my word. Can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. Crack up the phone, I swerve. Give me a stick if they heard.
You have my heart, I will never be one apart. Baby, in everything, but you still be my God. Baby, 'cause in the dark, you can't see shiny cars, and that's when you need me there. With you, I'll always share. Because when the sun will shine together, told you I'll be here forever. Said I'll always be your friend. Took a note from the city I live in. Promise saying I'll never. Know that with you I'll be together. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Here we go, cold story ever told. So we're far along this road, and all the soul. You were one of those. How could you be so heartless? Oh, how could you be so heartless? How could you be so Dr. Evil? You're bringing out a side of me that I don't know. Out of sight, everyone won't speak so. Why
plan tonight. God put me in your plan tonight. I'm sick of this drink, got me saying a lot. But I know that God put you in front of me. Try to get you front on me. If the style you use is only one of me, I'm tripping, I'm caught up in the moment, right? Cause it's Louis Vuitton down night. So we gon' do everything the kind like. Heard to do anything for a well, I'll do anything for a blind. And she'll do anything for the limelight. And we'll do anything when the time's right. Baby, you're making it.
Testing, 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 testing. Okay. And I can hear myself too as well.
Now you know that you got to do the clock and it's scoring too.
Okay.
So start the clock here, right? And then the scores here. You should be able to handle that for soccer.
Yeah, because the clock just keeps running, correct? So, yeah.
Yep. So you'll be good. If you have any questions, I'm going to be here probably until about 1:50, and then I got to head over to that soccer meet. Okay?
Sounds great.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I gotta be honest with you guys, I have so many things to say here, things like here for us. Well, that's my thing. You don't have it. It's like, oh, right. You drink Pepsi, which is not even close to the same. And I don't drink it nearly as frequently. I probably have it twice, 3 times. Oh, do you have it in your, like, to brew it in your room? No.
So is this going right now?
Yes. I don't think you're on. I think your levels are down. Can he borrow our pen real quick? Mike, I'll take care of my pen. Your slide line is more else than that. I had a couple of ones killing on the extra umbrellas. It's great. Wick, you're doing the announcements on your like the script and the secrets. Yep. Did we get the clarification? No, because it's not here.
Good afternoon and welcome to Mirrione Stadium on the campus of Wheaton College for today's NCAA Division III NEWMAC Women's Soccer Contest featuring the visiting Smith College Pioneers and your Wheaton College Lions. Wheaton College, the NEWMAC, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We're impressed with your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, homophobic remarks, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated, and a grounds for removal from said competition. Also, consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages is prohibited. Officials for today's contest are Stephanie Sokol, Francisco Montero, and Taha Nasser. Now let's meet the starting lineups. First for the visiting Pioneers. A senior defender from Londonderry, New Hampshire, number 2, Abby Ellis. A first-year midfielder from Stamford, Connecticut, number 3, Sophia Romero. A senior forward from Jersey City, New Jersey, number 8, Piper Thompson. A senior defender from Milford, Massachusetts, number 10, Madeline Boyle. A junior defender from North Haven, Connecticut, number 11, Raven Tebbets. A junior defender from Piedmont, Oklahoma, number 17, Morgan Watson. A junior defender from Keene, Texas, number 19, Kyla Warner. A first-year defender from Davis, California, number 21, Una Keller. A junior defender from Kaneohe, Hawaii, number 22, Sachel Brainerd. Junior defender from Westminster, Massachusetts, number 23, Sarah Buskovitz. In net for the Pioneers, a sophomore from Carlisle, Massachusetts, number 00, Skylar Smith. Pioneers are coached by Kathy Braun, assisted by Alda Torado, Montullo, and Isabella Zanzini. And now let's meet your Lions. Senior defender from Honolulu, Hawaii, number 4, Taylor Matsubara. A sophomore midfielder from Somerset, New Jersey, number 7, Raquel Garces. A first-year midfielder from Tewksbury, Massachusetts, number 9, Gabby Diaz-Archia. A first-year forward from Grafton, Massachusetts, number 13, Gina DePerdinas. A sophomore defender from Holliston, Massachusetts, number 17, Mia Wolfgang. A junior forward from Warwick, Rhode Island, number 23, Lily Brown. A sophomore midfielder from Ellington, Connecticut, number 24, Julia Sternat. A sophomore midfielder from Mayor, Massachusetts, number 25, Allie Roach. A sophomore forward from Oxford, Connecticut, number 30, Kate Wickenheiser. A junior back from Irvine, California, number 32, Allison Kramer. In net for the Lions, a sophomore from Poway, California, wearing number 1, Patricia Bandra. The Lions are co-coached by Lee Boyce and Chloe Rocco, assisted by Ash Hill. At this time, we ask that you please rise if able, over your hats, for the playing of the national anthem.
Well, Wheaton will be looking to end a recent cold streak against Smith this afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to Mirrione Stadium for a conference matchup of women's soccer between the Wheaton Lions and the Smith College Pioneers by NEWMAC Sports Network. I am Adam Wright. And as I've mentioned, Wheaton is enduring a bit of a cold streak recently. They haven't won in 8 games. They haven't scored a goal in that span, but they'll be looking to check both boxes this afternoon. It's currently a rainy Saturday here in New England in Norton, Massachusetts. With that being said, here are the starting lineups. As for Smith College's, in numerical order, this is going to be Skylar Smith, Abby Ellis, Sophia Romero, Piper Thompson, Madeline Boyle, Raven Tebbets, Morgan Watson, Kyla Warner, Una Keller, Seychelle Brainerd, Sarah Buskowitz, and going on to Wheaton's starting lineup is Patricia Bandrup in goal. It'll be Taylor Matsubara, Raquel Garces, Gina DeBaradinis, pardon my French, Mia Wolfgang, Allison Kramer, Gabby Diaz Archia, Lily Brown, Julia Sternat, Ali Roche, and Kate Wickenhauser. Both teams have taken the field, and we are underway. The ball juggling around midfield here. And I've kind of briefly alluded to Wheaton. However, Smith is in a different situation. They're hovering around 500, currently at 5-5-1. That shot clears the net. It's going to be Bandrup taking it out. Just looking to keep it away from Smith College offense. This Pioneers team, they've lost 2 straight themselves, but they're looking to find some sort of an identity. They have been hovering around 500 practically all season long. As Wheaton is just looking to get it outside their own territory here, playing keep away from Pioneers offense. Ali Roche tries to send over towards midfield. It gets out of bounds. It's going to be Wheaton throwing it in. Roche driving finally into Smith territory as it makes its way over to Wolfgang. Wolfgang sends it back. Diaz Archila. Matsubara sends it back to Diaz. Garces. Wheaton just looking to settle into a groove early on here in this matchup. The rain is sprinkling right now, but it was really coming down earlier on, and I believe this matchup missed a bullet. That one came very close to a scoring opportunity for Wheaton, but it'll be offsides, and it's going to be Pioneers defense kicking it off and getting it back into Wheaton territory. over towards the far sideline. That ball gets out of bounds. It looks like it's going to be Pioneers throwing it in, and it will. Sends it down the sideline. Smith trying to set the tone early. Haven't quite had a shot opportunity yet. They've had a shot, but it wasn't on goal. The Lions are still looking for some sort of offense to get going here. They got the ball to the other side of the field briefly. Ali Roche sends the ball looking for Wickenheiser. Gets booted out of bounds, and it's going to stay Wheaton ball. The kick from Maya Thomas. Gets stolen by Pioneers defense, and here we go again. Here come the Pioneers with a drive of their own. There's Romero working her way through traffic and is unable to, gets recovered by Buskovitz. Whistle and a stoppage of play as we go under 40 minutes in this ball game. Matsubara gets it to Ali Roche, who finds Brown. Brown unable to control it. It gets stolen away. Roche trying to get it back. Now here are the Pioneers playing keep away. That ball gets sent to Thompson. Thompson trying to corral it and gets kicked out of bounds by Watson. Excuse me, that's Wolfgang. Trying to collect it again, gets kicked out of bounds. This time it's going to be Wolfgang of Wheaton throwing it back in. Gets it to Brown. Brown working her way through traffic, passes it. And there's Wickenheiser. Green grass in front of her and makes the shot, and will be saved. Skylar Smith had it kicked right to her, and Wickenheiser with the first shot on goal of the game for both sides. With 38 minutes remaining, we're 7 minutes into the game. Here's Sternat working with it. Passes it over in the general direction of De Berardinis. Wolfgang kicks it across the field looking for Wickenheiser, but finds Brown instead working through traffic. There was lots of Pioneers defense in front of her. It was very hard to get out of that, and it gets booted back into the general direction of Brown, but too far away from her, as that it is now in firm possession of the Pioneers. Driving down the field is Kyla Warner, near sideline, goes out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in where Mia Wolfgang finds Garces. Here's Roche taking it across midfield into Pioneer territory. Roche tries to pass it to one of her teammates and loses it, and the ball is back deep in Wheaton territory. Bandrup holds on to it. It finds Wolfgang. Wolfgang driving down the near sideline. Sends DeBerardinis. Ball gets booted out of bounds. But it's going to be a throw-in. Mia Wolfgang will try to get something going on offense for Wheaton. Sends Skylar Smith. That was a good shot attempt, just a little high. It had some bend to it. But nonetheless, Julia Sternet's shot was just wide, misses the mark. Here's Lily Brown finding Sternat again with another look, and that's going to make it in. Julia Sternat. Sternat breaks the scoreless streak that has gone on 8 games. And Wheaton with not only their first goal in as many games, but their first lead. Wheaton up 1-0 early in this matchup.
Scored by number 24, Julia Sternat.
Now it wasn't just a good shot, but it was a great pass by Lily Brown to put her in position to score that goal. Give Wheaton their first lead since mid-September. Yeah, the Pioneers will look to answer, but all momentum right now is on Wheaton's side, showing it with a little energy here on defense. That ball gets stolen by Sternat. Excuse me, that was Garces. It's going to be Bandrup. Sending it to Garces, who passes it to Roche. The Pioneers looking to hold on to their possession, but the defense is just too smothering right now. That was DeBerardinis, who's able to get the ball away from Thompson of the Pioneers. There's Roche trying to find DeBerardinis. Loses it, and the Pioneers get it again. Here's Thompson. Loses possession again. Wheaton's defense has done a great job of limiting the shots, as I believe the Pioneers have yet to get a shot on goal and have mustered up just one shot. Ball goes around midfield, dribbling down the far sideline. That ball goes out of bounds. Gets thrown in by DeBerardinis. Here's Mia Wolfgang, near sideline, dribbles down midfield. Looking for Lily Brown. Wolfgang tries to keep it from going back into Wheaton territory. Here's Wolfgang sending it to Sternat. Sternat tries to find DeBerardinis. Goes out of bounds. Wolfgang's going to throw it in again from the near sideline. Sternat with a little open space, goes into traffic, finds Roche. Roche tries to pass it to Garces, who loses it, and now it is Smith with the ball now. Gets knocked down. There's a stoppage of play. It's going to be a kickoff towards Wheaton's side. There's another stoppage of play. Stoppage of play again. The clock ticks under 31 minutes in this contest. Wheaton on top, 1-0. Adam Wright with you on the call by NEWMAC Sports Network here at Mirrione Stadium at Wheaton College over in Norton, Massachusetts. Another stoppage of play. Ball's kicked off. Makes its way over across midfield. Romero trying to get a shot off and gets jammed up. Wolfgang to throw it in. Finds Sternat. Back to Wolfgang. Finds its way over to Matsubara. Here's Ali Roche. Tries to find Sternat, but gets jammed up. It finds its way into Pioneers' possession again. Brown trying to hold on to it, but can't. And there's a stoppage of play. The official clock is 28:57. Slightly contests the clock that you see on your TV in your homes. That ball's going to get out of bounds. Bandrup is going to kick it off. Diaz-Archia to Wolfgang. Back to Diaz-Archia. Finds Roche. Tries to kick it around midfield to Lily Brown. There's too much traffic around her and she loses it. There sends Una Keller. And there's a shot. Bandrup saves it. There's Kyla Warner with the shot. Didn't have much room to shoot, and it went right at Bandrup. The Lions just trying to get it out of their side of the field. And Wolfgang accidentally sends it out of bounds. It's going to be Pioneers' ball for the time being. Here's Beredinas passing across field. Finds Diaz Archia again. Looking for De Beredinas. Goes wide, misses her, and ends up back in the possession of Smith defense. That ball is sent straight to Bandrup. And she passes it over to Sternat. Sternat looking for Brown and misses her. There's Roche trying to recover it. It's Garces who is trying to recover it and just let the play breathe, but is unable to, gets smothered by Pioneers defense. Wolfgang passes it back to Sternat. Sternat to Beredinas. Tries to send Sternat. Pass went a little too wide. And it meets the Pioneers. There's Warner for the desperate shot. Does not go. There's another shot by Romero. That gets plugged up. Just trying to get that out of, keep it from going out of bounds and make a shot attempt. And for the long-range shot, Bandrup saves it, who punts it down to the near sideline. Finds De Beredinas. Back to Wolfgang, back to Diaz Archia. Sternat unable to handle that pass. But Brown recovers it and it's back into Sternat. A little bit of green grass in front of her. Runs into some traffic, runs through it. She's going to try and make another shot attempt and scores! 2 goals within a 10-minute span for Julia Sternat, who scores the first 2 goals for Wheaton College offense since mid-September with a 2-goal lead. Lions on top of the Pioneers, 2-0 early in this matchup. That was actually Kate Wickenheiser with the goal. So Wickenheiser is leading all of Wheaton offense in the scoring category with 7 now on the season. And nonetheless, a 2-0 lead for the Lions over the Pioneers. There was a stoppage of play. The play has stopped. A Pioneer has gone down on the near sideline. And they'll check that as Lions will get into a huddle and the Pioneers will do the same. The play is still stopped. Raven Tebbets is sitting up. And is now standing up.
Coach, who's checking in?
Mather Davidson did step onto the field
Who's checking in?
to walk into the huddle.
Is it you? 7 for 11? Thank you. And then 4, who are you taking? Thank you. 1 for 10. We'll just do 7 for 11.
It's going to be Mather Davidson coming in for Madeline Boyle. And it's going to be Skylar Williams officially replacing Raven Tebbets, who has just walked off the field. They subbed based on the injury and also made an additional substitution, a couple of changes to their starting lineup. Lions on top of the Pioneers, 2-0. Official game clock is 24 minutes and 10 seconds until half. Roughly halfway through the first half. And play resumes. And it's going to start with the Pioneers driving. It was Warner driving down the sideline. Ball gets too far away from her. Now it's the Lions with it. It's Wolfgang looking for Sternat and loses her. Ball is over towards the far sideline. The Pioneers just looking to generate some offense. Now down 2-0 in this matchup. The rain is still coming down, but it is just sprinkling. So far has not caused any problems as far as players finding their footing. Weather can be one of the great equalizers in sports, but so far hasn't played a factor in this matchup. Lions just looking to set themselves, reset, and start another offensive drive. Tries to find Lily Brown, is unable to collect. The shot was a little too hot. Ends up in Smith's hands. There's another stoppage of play. "22 seconds on the clock. Rather, 22 minutes. Here's Sternat holding the ball. Passes it back. Ends up in a scrum. Here's Archia. Finds Wolfgang on the near sideline. Finds DeBaradinas, who passes to Brown, but Sternat was wide open. Garces finds Sternat. Sternat loses it.
14, what are you going for?
Now driving down the sideline is Thompson. Ball ends up out of bounds. Wolfgang throws it in. Finds Sternat. Sternat to Brown. Brown to Garces. Green grass in front of her. Finds Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser passes it near the middle of the field, and that ball gets kicked out of bounds. Let's see who's going to be taking it in. It's going to be a corner kick, and Brown is going to go make her way towards the far sideline to try and knock it in. Another scoring opportunity for the Lions. With 20 seconds remaining. Boots it down the near field, and that header just misses the corner. Goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Skylar Smith, the goalkeeper, kicking it off and exterminating the opportunity for the Lions. Still up 2-0 over the Pioneers. Ball gets held on to. Sternat grabs it. Tries to find Wickenheiser. Ends up chested by Roche. DeBaradinas looking for some sort of pass. Tries to send Wickenheiser. The kick is a little too hot. Finds its way out of bounds. Just missed Wickenheiser. Just had a little too much mustard on it. Smith, the Pioneer, boots it and misses and finds Sternat. Sternat to Brown. Brown trying to find Sternat again. That ball gets kicked right over to Bandrup outside the goal. He kicks it out of bounds. And there's another shot on goal. Another one that goes right to Bandrup. Well, the shots are coming, but Bandrup is right there to hold on to it. Mr. Baradinas was pointing, looking for Diaz Archia to send her in this certain way, but kicks it a little too strong. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. Throwing in was the Pioneers. And here's the throw in again. Gets headed out of bounds again. We're now under 20 minutes to play. 17 and a half remaining in the first half. Thrown in again.
What number?
And that shot goes wide. And Bandrup going to try and kick it again. Substitutions. It's going to be Annie Spreen coming in for Abby Ellis.
Now entering the match for Smith, number 26, Annie Spreen.
The ball's kicked to Roche. Finds DeBaradinas down the sideline. Looking for a good pass. Looking for Garces. Passes behind her and loses it. But it ends up back in their hands. Here's Garces finding Roche. Roche sends to Wolfgang. Back down the sideline. Tries to kick it back to Baradinas. Gets knocked down. Looking for a penalty, but nothing comes in. Goes out of bounds, and the Pioneers will throw it in. Wolfgang heads it to Baradinas. Gets Ali Roche, who loses it. Now dribbling down the sideline is Espinosa. Espinosa loses it. Here's Roche. Kicking it, looking for DeBerardinis, but goes too strong and out of bounds. There's another one that goes out of bounds. And here it's going to be Wolfgang throwing in for Wheaton. Here's the ball on the far sideline. Finds Wickenheiser. Trying to create some space. Slide tackle by Espinosa. But the ball ends up back into the clutches of Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser loses it. Ball gets too far away from her. Here's Diaz Archia. Sends Wolfgang near sideline. Tries to pass it looking for Garces. Gets back to Roche. And here it is back into the Smith possession. Espinosa kicks it out of bounds. It's going to be Wolfgang throwing it in again. Wolfgang throws it in. Diaz Archia.
Now entering the match, for Smith College, number 13, Parker Ellis. And for Wheaton College, number 5, Arden Ulmer. And number 16, McKenna Reynolds.
Here's Sternat over to Garces.
What number?
That was Kramer going down the far sideline, who's unable to hold on to it. That ball goes out of bounds. Kramer's going to throw it in. Immediately gets headed back out of bounds by Pioneers defense. Ball gets booted towards midfield, finds Diaz Archia, finds Mia Wolfgang. Wolfgang sending towards the general direction of Sternat. Unable to hold on to it, but gets it again. Finds Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser still has a play for it. It goes out of bounds. Whose ball is that going to be? It is going to be the Lions who will kick off. And Skylar Smith, the Pioneers goalkeeper.
Now entering the match, for Smith, number 27, Emma Saddle.
Kicks it, and it makes its way towards the far sideline, past midfield. There's Espinosa. Tries to kick it towards the middle, but is interfered with, and another stoppage of play. 11:45 to go in the first half. Pioneers with another scoring opportunity. The kick. Overshoots Espinosa, who tried to make a play for it with a header. Was unable to connect, and that ball ends up out of bounds. It's going to be Spreen throwing it off. That ball's going to find Wolfgang, who's trying to make a play for it on defense. Romero also had a shot at it. That was Williams, rather. There's another stoppage of play, and it's going to be a substitution. So Francesca Freeman, she is going to replace Ali Roche in the game. And play resumes. Diaz Archia. Matsubara kicked it off, and there's Lily Brown who tried to find Garces. Ends up missing, and there's Reynolds. Spreen to Romero. Here's Garces. Garces finds Diaz Archia. Tries to pass over to Wickenheiser. There's Wolfgang. Sends it to Sternat. Sternat around midfield. Stolen, but Diaz Archia recovers. There's Garces. And Wheaton just looking to recollect themselves. Under 10 minutes to go in the matchup. Just 8:45 remaining in the half. Sternat gets the ball stolen. Ball gets booted out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for the Lions. Wolfgang throws it. Diaz Archia. Just trying to collect themselves, get themselves set, while playing keep away at the same time is Wolfgang. Sends it to Reynolds. Reynolds driving down the sideline. Great pass to Sternat. Tries to get it to Brown, but misses. Brown is able to recover, still stuck in traffic though. That ball ends up venturing away, and it's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be Lions throw-in. Wolfgang, as she so often is, throwing it in. Freeman with a band drop. Sends it over to Matsubara. Matsubara towards the far sideline. Sends it to Diaz Archia. Ulmer was in the general direction of that pass. Now it's Lily Brown who's closest, and they're going to lose possession, but Reynolds able to recover it. Here's Freeman looking towards Wolfgang's general direction. He passes it to Garces instead towards midfield. Back to Wolfgang. Wolfgang was looking for Brown but loses it. But Wolfgang steals. Dribbling through traffic, finds Lily Brown. Brown back to Wolfgang, and her shot goes wide of the mark. 6 minutes remaining. There's another shot, but an unsuccessful one. Lions up 2-0 over the visiting Pioneers. That ball finds its way out of bounds. Went off Reynolds.
Now entering the match for Smith, number 12, Abby Dickinson, and number 9, Karina
It's going to
Cobb.
be thrown in. Ball gets out of bounds, and Reynolds is going to throw it in. Rather, it's going to be Wolfgang again. Good opportunity here. Finds Sternat. Sternat was looking for Ulmer. Ulmer passes back to Diaz Archia, closer to midfield. Garces. Matsubara. Matsubara looking for Reynolds near the goal, near side of the goal. Ends up getting away, and Wolfgang trying to recover it. Finds Reynolds again. Reynolds to Brown. Brown was looking for Garces and loses it. That ball is going to be sent by Buskovich. Was unable to find anyone, and it ends up back in possession of Wheaton. Here's Sternat. Dribbling and looking for a destination to pass to. Finds the far sideline with Kramer. Kramer passes it down the sideline and finds its way just missing the out of bounds mark, and it's going to be a throw-in near the corner, near the far corner of Pioneers territory. As we go to 3.5 minutes on the half. Ball ends up back out of bounds again. Going to get thrown in, finds Garces. Garces, Diaz Archia. Kramer looking for Brown. Sends it a little too hard. That's not going to get out of bounds, though. And Brown passing it towards the middle of the field, looking for Reynolds, and it missed. But Diaz Archia has it again. Brown looking for Kramer. It's going to be a throw-in. Here come the Pioneers. It's Dixon. Driving it, and the foul on Smith. And Wheaton's going to get another opportunity as we get to the 2-minute mark in the half. It's a sky rocket looking for Reynolds. Wolfgang sends it to Reynolds down the near sideline. One person to beat. Makes it towards the middle. Here's Diaz Archia. Another opportunity looking for Reynolds again. Reynolds boots it out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for Spreen on the Pioneers. There's Wolfgang near sideline. Finds Sternat.
1 minute remaining.
Finds
in the first
Reynolds. Just under a minute remaining in the half. This ball finds Kramer. Kramer passes it to Wolfgang. Wolfgang to Diaz-Archia. Freeman passes back towards the middle. Finds Matsubara. Garces. Kramer. Far sideline. Brown trying to get a handle on it, and does. Gets it to Diaz-Archia near the middle.
9,
10
8,
seconds in the half.
7, 6,
Brown,
5, 4,
Arces looking
3,
for a last attempt,
2,
and it does not
1,
go.
0.
Hey, Lee,
That's going to be the half.
do you want us to do 10 minutes given the weather?
And at the half, the Lions are on top over the Pioneers, 2-0. They will enter the half with the half with the advantage. We're going to step aside and be right back for the second half. This is Wheaton Women's Soccer by NEWMAC Sports Network.
Yeah, if you want to, there's tape there. If you want to tape them like on the wall or something. Or like on the glass. Okay.
I kind of have to peek out
Yeah.
in order to see the other side. Sorry about the pronunciation.
No, sorry. I mean, I'm just a stickler because it's like you're for me in particular. We also have their pronunciations under us. Like, Kramer, Wickenheiser. Hey, how did you do?
I don't think it has it.
Yeah. Oh,
It doesn't have one comparator. Diaz-Archia?
Diaz-Archia.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. It just felt awkward as I was saying.
Yeah. You're not even using my umbrella.
I like literally my boy.
I mean,
I like the rain.
Mine again was really tired.
I like the rain.
yeah. Is that your mother? You're gonna get free food and hot after.
I did hear them announcing the senior day at Shocker like last year.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know, I just like,
Wait, are they
I like
doing
all
this
the
from
old
now
stuff.
on, or is it do that now?
Yeah, so it's like someone like a party or something. I thought it was
Yeah.
even
We
hit.
were like saw her.
Not
all
like, just like you see it. She looks just like you got.
I mean, that umbrella should be used to use
What is the umbrella?
Wait, who's already here?
What?
Didn't someone go down here and they were on the field?
And that was that girl who got like, it was her.
Is she okay?
Hey, you're right. Just yeah. Jesus Christ, man. I can't believe you're wearing shorts, by the way.
I know, it's cold, it's cold.
With white sneakers.
They already partially dirty, so that's why.
Wet pants might be worse than wet
I also said to
Yeah.
Liam, like, ask this man coach for them today.
They're rolling right now.
I told you.
I said 2-1.
I know.
Hey, how you gonna video? I had the score right so far.
Last time I like came with just like I just put rain jacket on and my phone was not working.
Yeah, I would forget to charge my phone, and then it was.
I did that last year. Caitlin knows all about that. Yeah. Yeah.
This is like
I thought these were a little more jacket. Yeah, last jacket. Something right.
No, I know that's. I mean, that's good.
Jordan. Caitlin, what's Jordan's last name?
Penix. He's on track and field. He's doing his sophomore experience in Wick, so that's why.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been seeing like Wick juniors recently. Like
Shut
people
up.
that look just like Wick. Little shoe shine on the head.
Do not pump that man up anymore. Listening to him and Mike talk about Pepsi today was really something. Did you get full pools?
Yeah. I was trying to stay out of like, because there's people standing in the middle, and I don't want like my big umbrella to block them.
Yeah.
But then they're
Oh,
like,
you're working though, so they can.
I was standing like, it's not bad.
Those pants are fired up over there.
Which
Some
one?
guy won't stop talking.
He was everybody.
Oh,
Like,
he's a
just like.
I mean, it's homecoming weekend.
Fired up.
Fall fest. Every day.
Sprinkle any good? I imagine it might be decent.
I mean, Springfield was great, you know. Like, I mean, I feel like all our teams. Yeah,
Western Mass, good soccer area.
Yeah. Like, hell, play Fortnite, and there are a lot of people over there. Go Lions.
Made a good choice picking this game.
What?
Made a good choice picking this game.
I was hoping that coach was like, yeah, no, we'll do 15. You need the extra 5 minutes to talk about how terrible this is. Yeah. And the fact that she's not wearing a hood and just letting her hair take it is also kind of wild. So the one thing we gotta do is, when the half starts, we gotta resell player from the outside. Oh, is it still 45 minutes? And not about started? Yeah.
What time is it?
So 7 is senior day. Well, this is fun.
Oh, you like that?
I do.
I was trying to get my like the pictures for the
I love. I don't know how to do that.
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say. I don't understand. What? Wait, I don't understand that. Like, how many people are on like dying? I don't know. I covered
We don't have a very large team.
Yeah.
So technically, that was like a goal.
Yeah, that was like.
But like, we have to give it to somebody.
Yeah. I was thinking I should post that one, but like, it's
We haven't scored since 2019.
Grade school was really good though.
Yeah. Come on, all you, buddy.
They're long lines.
No, just don't put 2 minutes. 3 churros too.
Go after.
Great. That was warm too. So
What
good.
do you get, tacos?
I got tacos and they gave me 3 churros too. Don't have to eat too.
Sarah.
Sorry.
You put the wrong Roman numeral. You put EII, which is 567.
Oh! Wait, you can change that? Wait, then I put you wrong the entire time. How do you change that?
So like where you like you scroll you see like where it's starting, you can compare it to. So you know what? Honestly, I've had a tough week with social media too, so it's like I thought that women's feel like was playing Smith today when in fact playing one holder. And then I was so annoyed at volleyball yesterday because I put at the beginning I put 8 soccer balls emojis on volleyball, and one of the girls commented on it saying, FYI, there is a volleyball emoji on the team with the hand and a volleyball. I immediately hit the comment and I immediately emailed that girl, our coach, like, I'm really sorry, it's just an honest mistake. Like, all of you text me or reach out to me for stupid things, and that you gotta put me on blast.
Look.
Oh, I'm gonna see if you can guess. Who would have the BALLS to do something like that?
You?
No.
Is it the junior?
No, it is in the right grade though.
Junior high grade.
No.
Junior.
Senior.
Anthony.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Walk that one out. I'm pretty sure.
guys, I literally I saw her in the hallway and she was like, "What are you?" And like, is anyone laughing? Like, you know I do this.
Yeah.
Like, be kind and send me a DM. I had to hide the comment because you're bringing attention to something that is an honest mistake that I can easily erase. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I post gaming. Like, give me a break.
Now, there was one girl that posted a video. It was not it was like she tipped it and it went over but didn't count the scores, but didn't count afterwards. And the club it called it back. And she like told Kendall and like most of that was juniors that like whoever did that like sucks and was like talking about it. I was like, it's like I didn't know.
You people are tapped. I can't even. And normally I don't let that on that like set me off because like
That's like a public
right. And then other athletes are liking it. Like, I was like, what? And it's something simple where I just go in the edit and erase the ball and put another ball.
Yeah.
Like for example, the hockey play, innocent mistake. Our coach sent me a text, okay, just an FYI, you're actually playing. Yeah. Did you fix it? No, I immediately deleted it, fixed it. That's how you're professional. She saw me, like, cause I didn't know the best ones, and I got pissed, you know. Yeah. And I was like walking to the bathroom, just like, oh, you know, thanks for your comment today. And she was just like, I was like, well, you know, funny is like I'm not laughing, no one else is laughing, and you're honestly embarrassing, like you're silly. And she was like, oh, and then she sent me an apology. I was like, that isn't up to me yet. Like, you do not want to get on my shit set. It's tough to do.
Like how much time was that?
2:30.
Walking across the field is so awkward.
Okay, Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, on call for it. Especially because you all reach out to me for all the things. So, like, you're going to be that after that. She's like, well, then NEWMAC did. I go out and work in NEWMAC. Okay. Yeah. I don't know Vandro's going. Rick was like, Kayla, are you okay? Because I was like, I was figuring. I literally woke up this morning PSTs, I make them now.
Oh, okay.
He just made me a template. Alright, so it looks like all these girls are going down. Give me the numbers, please.
Alright, we got 30, okay, 24, 32, 13, 16, 17, 8, 4, and 9.
Missing one.
I feel like it's gonna be,
Oh, Rocky Road.
I feel like it, but I don't know.
Yeah, she should probably stay in a minute.
How many are there? 11?
Yeah, so I'm feeling 10.
Yeah, the Ross guys ever say anything with their stats? Just solid revenue.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people actually mention that.
Really?
My favorite is when I go,
I'm terrible.
why don't you talk to your coach and your coach will talk to you?
Yeah.
Like, it is, your coaches are the ones that make the final decision on whether or not that counts. And then it just looks like you're being a good person. So I like them up. Christ.
17, 21, 0, 27, 26, 19, 3, 8.
Double zero, zero. 1 0. 1 more.
Oh,
My charter students actually question the stats before they
Yes. The first thing I say is, chop your coach. Because none of you will ever be your coaches. But you know your coaches will tell them when there's a mistake. Or, like, they'll tell them. Like, we'll deal with it. Exactly.
But if, like, I'm going close to 100 points, I'm off problem.
Sure. Like, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, the other thing, too, we have videos. Like, we can go back and watch it.
Look at all these videos.
Absolutely. I mean, you see it. It's like, oh, yeah.
Welcome back to Lions Women's Soccer by NEWMAC Sports Network. I'm Adam Wright with you. We are underway in the second half of this game. The Lions are up 2-0 over the Pioneers. The official goal scorers for the Lions were Julia Sternat, followed by Kate Wickenheiser. Freeman getting it back to Bandrup. There is Wolfgang trying to hold on to it. Ball gets knocked in. Unable to control it was Romero. Bandrup collects it real quick. Holds on. As far as team stats go from the second half, from the first half, shots on goal is in favor of Wheaton, 3-2. Corner kicks, the Lions had one, while the Pioneers are yet to have one. Total shots, Wheaton has outshot Smith 5-2. Shots faced, Smith has the advantage 3-2. Saves. Bandrup has 2, while Skylar Smith has 1. Goals allowed. Lions have 2, while the Pioneers have 0. And that is currently where we are at right now. A 2-goal advantage for the hosting Lions here at Mirrione Stadium. Rain has slightly picked up, but has continued to just sprinkle. It was coming down hard in the hours leading up to this game, but it has let up just enough time for a matchup. There's Thompson dribbling down the near sideline. That's booted out of bounds by Diaz Archia. It's going to be Brainerd from the corner. Corner kick here. Kicks it towards the middle. Couple players looking for a head. That's still bouncing around here. Brainerd tries to get the header. Brainerd passed it over. To Buskovich. That will be counted as a shot on goal. And just the third one that Smith has had all afternoon. They'll be looking for more if they are to come back here. Currently down 2 goals. Wolfgang loses it away from the far sideline, and Pioneers will throw in. Was looking for Kung. Was unable to collect. Thompson is also in the area. Goes out of bounds again. Kicking it in was Wolfgang. Freeman. Matsubara. Wolfgang back to Matsubara. Freeman pushing up. Finds Sternat. Sternat sending Wickenheiser. Only one person to beat. Beats him out. Goes into traffic and was looking for Reynolds. Was unable to connect. That was very close. Had an open shot at the goal. Goes out of bounds nonetheless, and it's going to be Smith for the Pioneers and goalkeeper kicking it off. There's Diaz Archia. Sending it to Kramer. To Freeman. Freeman was looking for Wickenheiser, but that gets headed out of bounds. It's going to be Kramer throwing in. There's Sternat, who makes a nice move. Sends Wickenheiser. This one is also a little strong and wasn't able to catch up with it. It'll be offsides, and the Pioneers are going to kick this one off. That ball's knocked long and goes out of bounds again. It's Brainerd throwing it in, was looking for Espinosa. Goes out of bounds. This one goes very close to the goal. Just gets booted away at the last second. It was a very close call for the Lions and a good opportunity for the Pioneers, but they are back in business. That ball gets dribbled down the sideline. It's going to go out of bounds. And as this one heads out of bounds, it's stopped beforehand. And Bandrup looking to kick it off. Sends it to Diaz Archia. Back to Bandrup. Looking for a better spot to kick it to. Shoots it towards Garces. Towards Wolfgang. And Reynolds, the closest one in the area. There's also Berendino. Berendinas, rather. That ball gets sent near the sideline. Romero has a play at it. Goes out of bounds. That was Warner, rather, for the Pioneers. Was out of bounds nonetheless. Wolfgang sends it towards the far sideline. There's a stoppage of play. And to kick it off towards the goal will be Wolfgang. Ends up sending it to Garces instead. Garces was looking towards Wickenheiser. Misses her, and it's going to be Kramer throwing it in. Kramer was looking for De Berardinas. The ball gets kicked near Bandrup. And if Espinosa got past her, then that would have been an easy goal. Was luckily able to chip it away. Here's Brainerd. Some green grass in front of her. Sends Freeman. Rather, Thompson. Thompson beats out Kramer, and there's an open shot. Bandrup holds on to it, gets tripped up. Plenty of Lions were looking for a penalty there, and they didn't get it. They were both going for the ball for different reasons, for different obvious reasons. Here's Thompson. Sending was looking for Espinosa. Espinosa gets it past Bandrup, but only briefly, and also was on the ground. If she was upright, that would have been an easy goal yet again. And a couple of close calls here early in this second half for the Pioneers. Getting very close to the goal here. Showing lots of urgency with a two-goal deficit. That ball gets sent to Espinosa in the middle of it yet again, and Bandrup collects it again. She has been all over the place so far in this game. Bandrup punts it up and high. Wickenheiser's in the area with one person to beat. He gets beat out. Watson held on to it. Now the Pioneers are in business. Watson punts it far, looking for Espinosa. It's out of her reach. Bandrup collects it. Still 2-zip, Lions on top of the Pioneers. Pioneers so far held scoreless, but they have had their opportunities. Here's Thompson, ends up megging Diaz Archia, was looking for Espinosa, was unable to connect. Here's Romero, green grass in front of her, tries to find Espinosa again. Did not find her.
Thank you.
Here's the kickoff. Brainerd. Good shot opportunity. Was also looking for Espinosa, who was in the area, but Bandrup was able to catch it nonetheless. Another save. There's Espinosa. And it's to Thompson. Thompson lobs it up for Espinosa, but it's way over her head. Goes out of bounds. And substitutions coming in for Smith. It'll be Abby Dlug coming in for Sarah Buskovich. That one goes out of bounds. And Brainerd is going to throw it in. Gets headed out by Freeman, and it's going to yet again be Smith ball, and some substitutions coming in. Espinosa is going to come out. As well as Thompson. That ball is going to end up in the goal. The Pioneers are on the board. I'm not sure how they're going to score that, as it does look like that one was unintentionally booted in by a Lion. Now that ball ended up getting past Bandrup. Ended up getting past Bandrup, and once she was on the ground with the ball loose, there was not much that could have been done. The official ruling is it's going to be a goal for Kyla Warner. I believe it was for the Lions side, it was Garces who was trying to save it and ended up sealing the fate of that goal, as there's another shot on goal. And Bandrup able to save it this time. There's Wickenheiser. Tried to find Ulmer, but it goes out of bounds. It's going to be Brainerd for the Pioneers throwing it as they get the possession. Kramer tries to grab it. Boots it out of bounds. It's going to be Brainerd again, this time closer to the goal, near sideline. Throwing it in. That ball goes near the goal. It was Ellis, Parker Ellis, freshly into the game, who was in the area for the Pioneers. There's Ellis. Sending towards Kiernan. Alex Kiernan's also freshly in the game. That goes out of bounds on the Lions, so it's going to be a corner kick coming up. It's going to be Brainerd who's going to try and make the boot. Sends it into Romero, dribbling through traffic, looking for a shot that just misses going in. Could not tell exactly who made that last tap, but that was very close, and Bandrup, with the quick reflexes, just able to save it from a close distance. Very nicely done. If it hadn't been, we'd be looking at a tie contest right now. Nonetheless, still 2-1, the hosting Lions over the visiting Pioneers. This Smith offense has been coming on strong so far in this second half. Very different Pioneers team from the first half that we have seen. There's Kramer trying to get the ball away. Watson looking for a spot to pass. Finds the near sideline, but it's stolen by Reynolds, but only briefly. It goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Wolfgang to throw it in for the Lions.
Now entering the match for Wheaton, number 23, Lily Brown.
Lily Brown checks back into the game, taking out DeBaradinas. Ball gets kicked out of bounds. And this Pioneers team just continues to threaten as Brainerd is going to throw it in to the near side of the goal. Romero. Back to Ellis. Ellis to Brainerd. Gets kicked away. Big scrum. Gets booted out eventually by Wolfgang, and Reynolds driving down gets slide tackled. But it gets saved by Brown. Wickenheiser, one person to beat. Shot gets jammed and it rolls into the arms of Skylar Smith. That was a great attempt, but just got beat out. Wickenheiser only had one person to beat, but Brainerd was just too quick, and at the last second was able to jam the shot at a close range. And here it's going to be Wolfgang. Passing it in. Diaz Archia looking for Brown. There's Wickenheiser. It was Brainerd with the slide tackle attempt. Was unable to knock her over, but was able to get the ball out of bounds. The ball's going to be knocked near midfield. Wickenheiser trying to get it. Brainerd goes down. They're going to stop play to check the injury. And as Brainerd walks off the field under her own power, and they begin to resume play, how much has this Smith offense turned it around in the second half? Well, they went from being outshot nearly double to outshooting Wheaton 11-6. And as far as shots on goal go, it's a similar story with 8 for the Pioneers compared to Wheaton's 4. They have come on very strong so far in the second half. They're looking to turn this game around. The rain is starting to pick up as game resumes. There's Ellis. Loses the ball. Brown gets tripped up. That was Ulmer. There's Sternat, who tries to send it to Wickenheiser. Gets boxed out, and she goes down. Couple of slips, and it looks like this rain is starting to play a factor. As Wickenheiser had a wide open lane. He got tripped up. Sternat's trying to hold on to it. Now Kramer is trying to beat Ellis to the ball. There's Ulmer trying to get it back, and that shot just barely is tipped by Bandrup and goes over the goal. That was another close one, and yet another shot on goal. That's number 9 so far in the afternoon for Smith. They have come alive in the second half. It's going to be a corner kick, however. It was Ellis with the official shot. There's the corner kick. Ends up going back out of bounds. And here it's going to be Bandrup. He's going to kick it back to Diaz Archia. Over to Kramer. Kramer to Sternat. Sternat, one person to beat, finds Ulmer. Ulmer back to Sternat. Sternat, green grass in front of her. One of the defenders falls over. And more slippage. Wickenheiser falls over. That ball gets booted out of bounds. It looks like it's going to be the Pioneers throwing in. It's going to be Abby Ellis. Throws it back out. There's Brainerd. Throws it in the general direction. Was looking for Kiernan. Brainerd. Ulmer. Ellis was able to boot it out of bounds. And it's going to be the Lions kicking back out. Bandrup looking for a spot to go. With just over 20 minutes to go. A 1-goal lead. And their visiting opponent Pioneers raining down shots. They are just looking to stay alive here and hold on to a potential victory in over a month. Here's Wickenheiser. No one in front of him. Looks, shoots across, and just misses the mark. It's not going to go down as a shot on goal, but it's about as close as Wheaton has gotten so far in this second half. Smith kicking it and finding Wickenheiser. And there's Bandra kicking it way out of bounds. There's going to be a stoppage of play.
Who are you going in for? 13 for 5. I got you. Thank you. What? Yep.
And that shot goes wide, and it's going to go out of bounds, and Bandrup is going to kick it off. About 18 and a half minutes remaining to play.
Now entering the match.
The Pioneers continue to threaten.
And for Wheaton, number 13, Gina DeBerdius.
Looks like Ulmer has come out of the game. DeBerdinis is back in, replacing her. Here's Kramer sending it down the sideline. Wickenheiser gets it knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Kramer with the throw-in. She's going to look for Sternat. Sternat loses it. And here's Romero driving down the sideline. Finds Brainer, good pass. Driving again. The ball gets booted a mile high. Here's Ellis. Ellis was looking for Romero but missed the mark. And Garces has it for Wheaton. Here's Wolfgang down the far sideline. Wolfgang, little green grass in front of her with the shot attempt. Fumbles that, and it doesn't look like it went behind the line. That was very close to being a goal. If that had gone a little bit further back, that would be an unintentional goal. Here's Wickenheiser, one person to beat. Finds DeBerdinis. Wickenheiser loses it. Finds DeBerdinis again. Here's Kramer. Shot looking for Wickenheiser or DeBerdinis. They were both in the area, but nonetheless, it was Skylar Smith, the goalkeeper for the Pioneers, collecting it. Trying to punt it and getting it out of scoring reach. There's DeBerdinis. Looking for Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser down the near sideline. One person to beat. Loses it to Ellis. Ellis loses it to DeBerdinis. Long shot. Was looking for McKenna for a potential header, but was unable to connect. There's Wolfgang. Looks like that will be a foul on the Lions, and they're going to get the chance, the Pioneers that is, for another scoring opportunity to boot this thing at the very least into out of their own territory and potentially get another opportunity here as the clock winds down to 15 and a half minutes. Roughly 3/4 of the way, rather 2/3 of the way through the first half, rather the second half of regulation. Sternat tries to send it, was unable to connect. Here's Brainerd for the Pioneers. Open lane. Tries to find an open shot. And Warner gets tripped up. Looks like she slipped under that rain, which is continuously getting stronger and stronger. This rain has become very prominent. I might have spoken too soon in saying that this rain was starting to let up in the first half. Bandra boots it over towards midfield. There's going to be another foul. Looks like it's going to be on DeBerardinis. As Emma Saddle went down. She is freshly in the ball game. Saddle's kick. Towards the middle, DeBerardinis holds on to it and sends Reynolds down the far sideline, but loses it. It looks like that is Watson kicking it down the middle. And Bandrup saves it. Just under 13:45 remaining in the game. That ball is punted a mile high and deep into Pioneer territory. Brainerd with green grass in front of her, but a few Lions as well, and loses it to Kramer. Finds Ellis. Ellis boots it high, and the ball is knocked around. Saddle finds Brainerd again. That looked like it was almost a handball, and it's nonetheless going to be a penalty against the Lions on the stoppage of play. Gets it to Matsubara. Matsubara back to Bandrup, who punts it to Wolfgang. Wolfgang dribbling towards the middle. Tries to send Wickenheiser, but is cut off by Ellis, who gets it to Brainerd. Brainerd with an open lane. Finds an open shot. And that one went nowhere. It was a slow roller. That was Alex Kiernan with an open shot. Was unable to connect. You have to wonder if that foot slipped under the ball to make it roll like it did, but it was a slow roller. Really did not have much potential to go in. And there's another opportunity. Kiernan barely missed getting that one in, and Bandrup able to hold on to it. Bandrup punts it over towards midfield. DeBerardinis threads the needle with a great pass through defenders, but is unable to connect with Wickenheiser. Just lost a lot of its velocity once it first touched the ground. I believe that rain is really starting to become a factor, as it looks like it's starting to come in sideways as well. Here's Wolfgang. Far sideline towards the middle. Brown tries to boot it over, and Wickenheiser is there alone. Ellis to beat. Just one person. And on the slide tackle, there's a stoppage of play, and this call is going to go in favor of the Pioneers. As we go around 10 minutes to play. Lions hanging on for dear life to this game, as they have seen, the Pioneers have seen their fair share of opportunities, including one goal. The Lions are just trying to keep it out of the back of the net so that they can hang on and take their first game in over a month. Clock winds under 10 minutes, and that's going to be a corner kick. And that looks like Brown walking out there to take the knock. Clock winds to 9.5 to go. Lions still on top, 2-1, looking to add some insurance inside the final 10 minutes of this game. It's a bending shot. Berardino. That ball just went high and cleared the goal, so it was not a shot on goal, but if that was a little lower, that was going to be out of the reach of the outstretched Skylar Smith. De Berardinis had a great shot there, just missed. We go under 9 minutes to play, 8:45. Kramer collects it, passes it to Bandrup, but Brainerd keeps coming, applying the pressure.
Now into the match with Smith, number 10, Madeline Boyle, number 8, Piper Thompson.
Kramer to Wickenheiser. Kramer, Sternat. Diaz-Archia. Matsubara to Wolfgang. Wolfgang sends it over to Bernardino. Pardon my French on the pronunciation of De Berardinis.
Maya, who you got? Thank you. 3 for 3.
There's a kick. And Sternat. Ellis boots it across midfield. Finds Romero. Romero was looking for Thompson. It goes out of bounds. And Wolfgang's going to pass, throwing it in. Reynolds gets choked up by 2 defenders. Romero. Rather, that's Watson. That ball gets loose. And Bandrup holds on. There was a Pioneer in the area to make the play on that ball. It looks like it was Kiernan again. And she is getting all of the opportunities for the Pioneers. This rain is picking up tremendously. There is Wickenheiser in the area close to the goal, but Ellis runs it down for the Pioneers. Here's Brainerd. Megs de Berardinis. Stoppage of play, and looks like that's going to go in favor of the Lions, and it's going to be Kramer kicking it. Not only has the rain picked up, but the wind has as well, as this rain is coming in sideways. Kramer winding up for the kick. Goes towards the outside. Gets back to Kramer, who tries to find Wickenheiser for the potential header opportunity. Reynolds tries to collect it, but it gets booted out of bounds. 5.5 minutes remaining, some substitutions coming in. Looks like Maya Thomas is going to come in for Kate Wickenheiser. And Kiernan is going to come out of the game for the other Ellis. Brainerd finds Romero. Romero sends it to the far sideline. Offsides has been called. Just under 4:45 remaining. Brainerd finds Romero. Romero dribbling towards the far sideline, looking for the goal for that inside corner that just went wide. And if that went any further inside to that corner, that would be in the goal, in the back of the net. Here's Brainerd. Brainerd sending it towards the goal. He's looking for some help on the assist. Romero collects it. Swallowed up. She slips. There's Brainerd. Shot attempt towards the far sideline. Saddle's shot gets blocked. Brainerd's pass also gets shot. There's Thomas. 2 people to beat. Ellis runs her down. Gets tripped up. And there's going to be a foul called. And Thomas went down hard on that play.
Who are you going in for?
And DeBaradinas is going to wind up to kick it off. Looking for the proper setup. Communicating with her teammates. Looks like she's exchanging some words with Ellis from the other sideline. Those two did trip her up earlier, a couple minutes ago. There's the shot, bends it towards the inside. Is intercepted and is unable to connect. But Garces gathers it again. It goes nearly out of bounds, and Thomas slips again. There's Romero sending it towards the sideline. One person to beat. Was unable to make the shot. There was a slide tackle. Romero has it though. Dribbling, looking for a shot, and Bandrup collects it. We go under 2.5 minutes to go. The Pioneers may win this game, they may lose this game, but they are not going down without a fight either way. They continue to get these opportunities that have Lions fans on the edge of their seat towards the end of this matchup. Here's Brainerd. Ellis able to recover it. Loses it. There's Kramer. He's able to shoot it over towards their own territory. Ball gets hit. Who wants the soccer ball here? Here's Brainerd, who puts Thomas on skates, who has been on the ground often in the limited time that she has been in this game. There's a shot. And Thompson's shot goes way wide. It was a rocket shot. Just went very high. Was unable to connect. We are about to approach a minute to go to play in regulation.
1 minute remaining in the half.
And here, despite the Pioneers raining on endless opportunities in the second half, there is That ball is going to go also out of bounds. We go under half a minute remaining. Trying to get that shot, that last shot attempt off, and a stoppage of play is called. It's going to be in favor of the Lions as we go under 15 to go, down to the 10-second mark.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And there it is. The Lions have held on to snap their 8-game losing streak, their 8-game streak of no goals, and come out with a victory. The Lions hold on. As for your final stats, Smith went from just 3 shots in the first half to 17 in total after the second half. As far as shots on goal, almost all of them were on goal with 12. So they rarely missed their mark. However, the Lions, in the 5 shots on goal that they got, connected on 2 of them. Were able to hold on for the victory. And it was a very long and frustrating losing streak for this Lions team, but they must be very relieved to have snapped it and scored a couple of goals in the process. And as far as future matchups go, the Lions next play at Wellesley on Friday the 22nd. That game starts at 4 p.m. Rather, it'll be, their next matchup will be at Clark University, pardon my French, Wednesday the 25th at 7 p.m. As for the Pioneers, their next matchup will be at, they will be hosting Mount Holyoke Wednesday the 25th at 3:30 p.m. In the meantime, we are going to step aside from Adam Wright. This is NEWMAC Sports Network this is Wheaton Lions Women's Soccer by NEWMAC Sports Network. So long.
That is okay. I mean, we had to open the windows. So I can open it. Please go inside. You gotta keep this. You need any other help? Oh no, you're good, Adam. We can cover it. Thanks for coming out today.